the other movie that we're going to talk... Oh, excuse me, folks, I'm out of breath. And quite rightly so, because this movie took my breath away. It really, really did. The only depressing thing about Whiplash is that I think I've already seen my favourite film of this year. I know technically it's a 2014 movie, but you know how it works, folks. I've gone into this. We get these movies all dumped on us in one go in January. And I tell you, this is a film which I thought I had a handle on, and then it kept changing shape every 10 minutes into something even more delicious. For those of you who don't know, Whiplash is the story of a teenager played by Miles Teller who gets accepted into one of the most prestigious music schools in America, Schaefer Conservatory, with the hopes of earning a living as a jazz drummer. And he gets that chance when he's spotted by Schaefer's most demanding and fearsome teacher, played by J.K. Simmons. There's just one problem. He's played by J.K. Simmons. This isn't Goodbye Mr. Chips or Dead Poets Society. This is about a relationship between a student and a teacher, which is one of the most fascinating and complicated I've ever seen. It swings constantly between a student who wants to earn the respect of his peer, to a teacher who wants to tear him down psychologically, to the student having the biggest desire to kill another human being that I've ever seen on an actor's face. He wants to kill his teacher, but it seems he might hate his condescending family even more than that. At some point he wants a normal life with his girlfriend. And then at another point, after several months of utter torture, by the way, at the hands of this teacher, he actually has a greater desire than ever to be a great musician and to give everything else up. Dumps the girlfriend, dumps her in minute 30, I think. And then, when he finally achieves what he hoped he would with this teacher, the teacher takes it all away, and the student is left with literally nothing but the broken bones he gets from a car crash that was caused because he was fixated on getting to the orchestra on time. And that's just the first half of the film. Before I even go into the rest of it, Sean saw the movie too. Sean, what kind of impression has this one left on you?
I was really taken back because I used to be in band back in school. I was a band geek, and I never had a teacher like that. But it really, you could see how that it was entirely believable because I'm sure there are really teachers like that. And I haven't seen anybody bring as much energy to the screen this year as Simmons. Definitely no one more. He really blew me away, and I actually think Miles Teller deserves some credit for that role. And I don't think he's getting enough. He's still a kid, relatively speaking, compared to veteran actors. But that he impressed me, and maybe even more because I had high expectations for Simmons going in. I knew I was going to see a performance I probably won't forget. Teller, on the other hand, I don't have anything against him, but I've never seen him in a role like that. I haven't seen Spectacular Now, so I hadn't seen him in a dramatic role like that. And between the two of them and just the subject matter itself, I was already hooked. It's going to stick with me for a while, I think.
I think Teller's fantastic in the movie, and I'd like to point out to people, you might be getting this impression from what I've described so far or from the trailer, but this isn't the case where the teacher's the devil and the student's a saint. No, Miles Teller plays a character far more complicated than that. There's plenty of times where you're going to hate him too. He's a complete douchebag at part of this movie, and that's far more brave and interesting. And of course I can't give all the credit to Miles, he's just playing the part as it's written, but still, I believe Teller does deserve a lot of credit. It wasn't till the end credits were running that it actually clicked to me, Sean. Oh yeah, he's playing Reed Richards in the fantastic movie. I forgot. Yes, that's who it is. Because I get him confused with guys like Logan Lerman. I think Logan Lerman's 10 years older or something. I get confused with these guys.
No, he's just 10 years old. It's not. You got a little mixed up there.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. But I haven't seen Miles Teller in anything else before. But based on this, I'm looking forward to what he's doing next. I think
something tells me he's going to want you to forget he's in Fantastic Four.
I'm expecting that. We're all expecting that.
Yeah, exactly.
Big Black Rock, folks. Never forget. But I want to say... we still haven't forgotten. I want to say that... I don't know about you, Sean. I'm not even sure how much I want to go into what happens in the second half of the movie. Because... See, here's the thing, folks. I'll I'll explain it like this. The film decides to play us like an instrument and manipulate every expectation that we would have of where this story would go. And the film dangles us with movie cliches like a potential courtroom scene that never happens, a reconciliation with the girl of his dreams that never happens, and then a second chance for the students, for Miles to grab his dreams before they get ripped away again in the climax of the movie. And the climax of this movie is about two men absolutely determined to destroy each other in front of a public crowd. And before even that becomes too cliche for the film, in its final few minutes it becomes something more complicated than that. It actually lets you, the viewer, decide what's going on in these two characters' heads. Is this a film about two obsessives in a deadly battle where one must triumph at the end and vanquish his opponent? Or is it a film about the person you hate the most actually being the most influential driving force in your life, who you are forever indebted to, and what may be perceived as raw, seething hatred might actually be nothing more than plain and simple respect? You'll be thinking about that when you come out of this movie, I guarantee it. So I'd just like to extend my congratulations to director Damien Chazelle. He has made a very special film. He has just turned 30. Think about that. I hope his best days are still in front of him, but if they're not, I'm still going to thoroughly shake his hand for, what I do believe is going to be my favourite film of this year. That was my Gene Siskel impression for the night. Sean, anything else you'd like to say about...
You know what, you explained it far better than I could hope. I won't talk in specifics, but that the final 20 minutes or so, I'm really not sure if I blinked during that time. I don't know. When the credits rolled, my eyes were tearing up, not because I was sad, but just they were so dry. I have not been that fixated on a scene in a while. And most of the time, I would worry that I'm overhyping that. This is one movie I don't think, if you're a fan of good character-driven stories, I don't think you can overhype the level of intensity that they reach between them and as actors, and even in terms of directing. It really was. I'm probably with you. If it's not my favorite of the year, it is easily one of my favorites.
And I also just want to finally recommend something to people. I know you might get the impression, because it's a small-scale story, that you don't have to catch it theatrically. And if you have missed it, and I know it's a limited release, folks, so not all of you will be able to catch it, but if you can, even if it's out of town, if Whiplash is within your grasp right now, I certainly say this to my friends in the UK, go and see it. Go and see it with an audience. You want to experience this film with a crowd. You all want to have that collective experience that I had and that Sean had, where a film immediately grabs you and does not let you go. That's the kind of thing that I long for every time I go into a movie theatre, and that's what Whiplash delivered. So I hope you'll enjoy it. Don't let me down. Go and see it. Don't pirate. No Oscar screeners, guys. I want you to pay for it. I won't pay for it.